Hi there, welcome back to the garage. This week going to be doing talks from Luke 21, 5 to 19. And it's one of the passages where Jesus is talking about what is to come. And I guess as it's November, it's starting to get cold here. Starting to think, what's happened this year? Will next year be better? And no real answer to that question. Will next year be better or worse? But Jesus in this passage is starting to talk as they're walking through Jerusalem to his disciples about what is going to happen in the future. And the first thing, the conversation starts because the disciples start talking about how nice the temple is. And Jesus responds, I tell you that not one stone will be left on another. And as I was reading it this time, I was struck. Jesus, Christmas story, if you don't know it, Jesus is born in Bethlehem. And Herod the Great, who's the leader of that, that part of the Roman Empire at this point, Herod the Great hears that Jesus has been born and or that a king has been born, and instructs that all of the children under 2 years old are killed in order to try and get Jesus. And Jesus has to flee as a refugee into Egypt. Eventually, when Herod the Great dies, they move back and they move up to Nazareth. And I'm sure Jesus would have known this story, that when he was born, Herod the Great killed unknown numbers of children just to try and kill him. And so what's it like as Jesus walks through the temple that Herod the Great has been building and refurbishing and developing, and here his disciples praising it? Well, I don't know. I imagine less than positive as he's turning and saying, you can't trust in these things. And the first lesson for me from this passage is Jesus is quite clear. It doesn't matter how long it looks like the thing that human beings have built or how solid they are, they're not eternal, and one day they will let us down. So whether you've put your faith in the nation state, whether you've put your hope in your house, whether you've put your love into something that isn't God, ultimately those things, they will come to an end. And it's only God that's eternal. And that's a hard lesson. And it's a challenging lesson. But the good news is it's almost the least challenging thing of this bit of the Bible. So see you soon.